Hello guys, and welcome back to another episode of Skyrim getting excited about Skyrim coming out episode video. Anyway, when we last left off, we were talking about the races, but now I want to draw your attention to the skills that we will find in Skyrim. Now, this is going to be a little bit like a... Oh, hold on. A little bit like... we've got the hand now, that's good. Right. It's going to be a little bit like school, okay? So pay attention and take notes, right? What I want to show you in this episode is basically a brief overview of the skills that you'll have and how they compare to the previous games that we had in the Elder Scrolls series. So we've got Morrowind, Oblivion and Skyrim, right? And as you can see, we've got lots of skills here, not so many here, and even less here. But I want to show you the progression. So as you can see, we've got the blue, pinky, red, light red, and yellow. Or maybe a mustard colour. Anyway, you can see the colour that they are. So basically they are combat orientated, magic orientated, and stealth orientated. And basically that's how they're broken down. Now, in Morrowind, you had skills such as spear, medium armor, or enchant, unarmored, and short blade, which then basically also blunt weapon and axe were two separate types of skill that you could have, but they disappeared in Oblivion, and short blade was morphed in with long blade and became just normal blade. Same with blunt and axe, they just became blunt. Enchant disappeared, unarmored disappeared, and medium armor, where's that at? Yeah, medium armor disappears as well. So you only have heavy armor and light armor. Acrobatics stays the same, and anyway, we've got this set of skills here. Hand to hand as well goes into combat as well. It's no longer a stealth-based skill. Now, I suppose that's all well and good and interesting, but I suppose nobody really cares about that, because what we really care about is the bottom one. What are we going to get in Skyrim? And let's get to the point, shall we? So, interestingly, armourer is going to be called smithing. However, I do know that items will no longer have like a durability statistic. So you know how items would wear out and you needed to get them repaired. Well, that's not going to be in the game anymore. So smithing might be, I don't know the exact details of it, but I think it's something to do with crafting weapons and armor and things, because you can find craftable items and then you can find a crafting table or oh, it's too much Minecraft, that. I think it's an anvil or something like that, and you can build weapons rather than repairing them. Block is obviously the typical shield. So the one thing that I noticed is that all the weapons have been marksman has been put into archery, which everybody just called it archery anyway. But I think they used to call it marksman because you could it wasn't just bows and arrows, it was also things like crossbows and things of that ilk. We've got the two-handed and one-handed, and basically apart from ranged weapons, all weapons have now been morphed into either two-handed or one-handed. So blunt and blade no longer exist, and hand-to-hand doesn't exist either. You're either just two-handed or one-handed. Which kind of doesn't make too much sense, unless you're seriously making the game more streamlined for console players, which I presume that's what they're doing. I know they streamlined Oblivion for console players down from the way that it ran in Morrowind, and I presume that's what they're going to do there. And I think what they'll probably be doing is you can get, you have the bonus trees, which we'll also be covering in some other videos. The bonus trees will probably give extra perks to different types of weapons, but when we cover that we will see. Anyway, so that's basically the combat orientated skills, and then we've got the magic orientated. Now, one thing that I noticed that's interesting, alchemy is here, right? But now it's in stealth-based skills, which is interesting because it always was a magical-based skill, but now it's not. Another thing, mysticism has gone, so things like Alcivi intervention, divine intervention, call and recall, the spells of that nature. I wonder if they've been morphed into something else. Another thing that's interesting is that you have an enchant skill. You used to have it in Morrowind, but now you got it back in Skyrim. We lost it in Oblivion. You had to use them awkward... well, it weren't really that awkward, but it was inconvenient. You had to go to a special enchanting table and use money, I think. Did you? You could also pay an enchanter to do it as well in Morrowind. I remember that. Conjuration, alteration, illusion is all there. Restoration, obviously. Acrobatics is gone, so you don't get bonuses to jumping, which is also interesting because they took out athletics. So I think any character that you have will only have a base level of athletical ability. So you can it'll only be able to jump so high, it'll only be able to run so far and fast. I presume as you level up, you'll probably gradually get faster or stronger or be able to jump higher. I presume that it'll be, instead of it being based upon individual skills, it'll be also be built on your based upon your attributes, such as speed and agility, etc. Light armor is still there, not any kind of shock, really. Mercantile is no longer there, and it's kind of been morphed into speechcraft, and speechcraft actually is not speechcraft anymore, it's now just speech, I believe. Sneak is the same, however security is being split into two parts. So security, it was used to be actually all about lockpicking, wasn't it? So actually lockpicking is a skill of its own, and pickpocketing used to rely on your sneak skill, and I think on your security skill as well. If they were both high, you would be quite good at pickpocketing. I might be wrong, and I'm well. If I am, just tell me so. Anyway. So pickpocketing is an actual skill and not just reliant on other skills, which is interesting. One thing I want to go back to the alchemy is I think you can make poisons, which I think that's why it's related to the whole this bit, the stealth-based skills. But when we look at the actual individual trees, the skill trees, then we'll be able to see. So I hope that you found this informative and interesting. I know that we're getting excited for Skyrim, and I just thought that this would be of interest as well, seeing as we've covered the way that people look, and I just thought we'd look at the individual skills. Brilliant. So when we come back, what I'm going to be able to do is take you through the individual skill trees, and I've got some really cool graphics. I don't know where I found them. I think they released them, but I haven't seen them being circulated very much, these things, these images that I've got. So this might actually be the first time you've seen them, although to be honest it might not be. But that will be for next time, okay guys? So until then, my lovely friends, stay safe, take care of yourself, and goodbye.